Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of Wall Street's secrets. And today we're diving into Norwood Financial Corp's latest filing. Get ready because we're about to uncover what's really happening behind the scenes with this financial institution. And before we dive in, if you want more of these straight to the point corporate breakdowns, make sure you're subscribed and join our Discord community linked in the description below. Alright, let's get straight into it. What we have here is a Form 8K, which is basically a report for big events that shareholders need to know about right away. For Norwood Financial Corp, this is all about their latest financial results. Think of it as the company putting out an important announcement about how they've been doing. The key date here is July 22, 2025, which is when they officially reported these findings. This tells us who we're talking about, Norwood Financial Corp, a company from Pennsylvania. Now, why would you care about this? Well, if you're an investor or just curious about how banks and financial services companies are doing, this gives you a peek into their performance. It's like getting a report card. A main event in this finding is Item 2.02, which covers their results of operations and financial condition. This is where they share the juicy details about their earnings, assets, liabilities, and how they're performing overall. It directly relates to their earnings for the 3 and 6 months that ended on June 30, 2020-2025. They've attached a press release that came out on the same day, July 22, 2020-25, giving us the details of their earnings for those specific periods. This is where we can start to dig into the numbers. So let's talk about what those numbers might mean. When a company like Norwood Financial Corp reports its earnings for a quarter, they're essentially telling us how much money they made, how much it cost them to make that money, and what their financial health looks like. For a bank, this often involves looking at things like their net interest income, which is the difference between what they earn on loans and what they pay on deposits, their non-interest income like fees and charges, and their overall profitability. Keep in mind that Norwood Financial Corp trades under the symbol NWFL on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC. So when we talk about their stock performance, that's the ticker you'd be looking for. Now, most of the really interesting numbers aren't directly presented in this 8K itself, as it mainly announces the release of the earnings information, which is typically detailed in an attached press release. However, based on the context of an 8K file for earnings, we can infer they are presenting key financial metrics. We'd be looking for things like their net income, earnings per share or EPS, and perhaps a comparison of these figures to the same period last year. For instance, if their net income increased significantly, it could mean they're doing a great job managing their costs and generating revenue. If their EPS went up, it means that each share of stock is representing a larger piece of the company's profits, which is generally good news for shareholders, is representing a larger piece of the company's profits, which is generally good news for shareholders netting a larger piece of the company's profits, which is generally good news for shareholders, representing a larger piece of the company's profits, which is generally good news for shareholders. Think about it this way. If a company's profit jumps by, say, 20%, that's not just a number. It could mean they've successfully launched a new product, or their lending division is performing exceptionally well, bringing in more money than usual. On the flip side, if profits are down, we'd want to know why. Is it because of increased expenses, a slowdown in their core business, or maybe a specific economic factor that's hitting the whole industry? And finally, the report is signed off by John M. McCaffrey, who holds the important title of Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. This signifies that the information presented has been reviewed and approved by the company's top financial executive. Now, for my take as a decoder, while this specific Form 8K doesn't contain the detailed tables directly, it serves as the official announcement that the earnings are out. The real story is in the accompanying press release. What I'd be looking for if I were an investor are clear trends. Is Norwood Financial Corp growing steadily, or are there signs of instability? Are they managing their expenses effectively? And are they finding new ways to generate income beyond traditional banking? One key risk for financial institutions can be economic downturns, which can lead to more loan defaults and lower interest income. Conversely, a strong economy and a well-managed loan portfolio can be huge tailwinds. We'd also want to see how they stack up against their competitor. Are they managing their expenses effectively? And are they finding new ways to generate income beyond traditional banking? One key risk for financial institutions can be economic downturns, which can lead to more loan defaults and lower interest income. Conversely, a strong economy and a well-managed loan portfolio can be huge tailwinds. We'd also want to see how they stack up against their competitors in the... Ultimately, this filing triggers the release of crucial financial data. Without those numbers, it's hard to give a definitive opinion. But the fact that they're releasing this information signals a commitment to transparency. We'll be watching for those details to see if Norwood Financial Corp is on a strong trajectory or facing headwinds. Alright, that's our quick look at this 8K filing from Norwood Financial Corp. What are your predictions for their performance based on this announcement? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more decoding of corporate filings. And as always, join our Discord community for more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.